Well, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Lady in the Dogpound. Today, again, episode number 2. I get to be the lady again because Stacy is just traveling all over the world, seeing the Yankees play everywhere. She's in New York today, seeing the Yankees take on the Cubs. She saw the walk-off yesterday, which is unbelievable. I'm here with Stacy, of course, and the one, the only, Bad Dog. What's going on, everybody?
What is up?
Hey man, Yankees are playing good baseball. That's all I'm thinking about.
Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Yankees. Stacy, how was the game yesterday?
I thought it was never going to end, actually. And I told my son, I was like, if we don't walk it off at the bottom of this inning, we're just going to go. And he was like, yeah, okay. I didn't want to, but it just really did not feel like it was ever going to end. But then when Trevino came up, I was like, oh, this is about to end right here.
So
That's
just
right. One of the only Jose Trevino.
Yes.
Jose Trevino.
Bad dog got that corrected. Trevino has earned enough respect now to be called by his actual name. The funny thing is, though, I called that game yesterday live. I had the horrible burden of calling that game live. 4 hours passed. I remember the last time, I forgot what it was, Hicks came up and he didn't bunt. And then I think, what did he do? He struck out or popped out, I think. And I'm sitting there saying, just bunt, bring Trevino in to hit and finish this game. And Boone doesn't do it. And the game just keeps going. And then Trevino with 2 outs is like, oh man, he's going to do it. He has to do the walk-off. And when he got that base hit, I'll be honest, I was happy, but I was even more excited that the game was over. I was like, thank God this game is over. Like, my throat was dead. I was exhausted. I'm like 4+ hours of calling the game in front of your computer. I'm like, it's absolutely crazy. But
I've had those nights calling those games, man.
Oh, yeah.
4.5, especially against Boston. The 4.5.
Those are go forever. But, well, we are back for episode number 2. Everybody really enjoyed the first episode, so I thank everybody for that. I thank them for giving us suggestions on, you know, things we could do a little better, maybe switch some things up. Today, of course, with Stacy being in New York for the Yankees-Cubs series, I'm going to go ahead and do the hosting again. We're going to do it a little differently today. All 3 of us today are going to get our 30 seconds. No, what is it? Minute. What is it?
Minute 30.
Minute 30.
Minute 30. That's what they call it. A minute 30. We'll do that. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to get started. I got the timer here. Fans are watching. Please, guys, as you watch this video, throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat what you think. Do you agree with our opinions? But we got some really good questions today. So let's go ahead and jump right into question number 1. Bad Dog, we are starting with you. This is from @TylerTalbot20. Who would be your top realistic outfield target at the deadline? And go.
Oh, I think we talked about it last episode. That's Andrew Benintendi. I mean, Andrew Benintendi, I don't know what else to say that we didn't say about him last week, but he's just a perfect fit. He's a guy that's excelled in Kansas City with no lineup around him. Can you imagine that left-handed bat in between like Judge and Stanton or Judge and Rizzo? Benintendi's a guy you can plug in pretty much anywhere from the 2 through 7 slot. You get a good contact hitter. You get a guy with some speed. You get a guy with some pop. And in Yankee Stadium, left-handed bat, I mean, we need all the left-handed bats we can get. He'd definitely be more productive than Gallo. Listen, I know Gallo had a big hand in the comeback the other night against Minnesota, but who would you rather have up in a big situation? You want Gallo, who's all or nothing, strikes out half the time, maybe walks 40% of the time, hits a home run 10 to 15% of the time? That didn't add up to 100%, but you get my point. Or would you rather have a guy like Benintendi, who you have a feeling is going to put the ball in play and can hit it out of the park? Benintendi is a throwback to what the Yankees used to do in 98. Those are the type of players they had in 98. I'd love Andrew Benintendi to be a New York Yankee. I think that's very realistic. We might have to give up a little bit more for him, but if you want to win it all, man, you got to go for it. If you think you have a chance to win this whole thing, you got to go for it, because these opportunities, as we know, have been sparse lately. So if you think you have a good opportunity to win a World Series, go out and get a guy like Benintendi. I'd love him to be in pinstripes.
Perfect. You could look at that. 5 seconds left on the board, and he does it. Unbelievable. Stacy, do you want to take next?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
He was my choice as well. Yeah.
No, you're good. Ready, set, go.
Right. Yes, Andrew Benintendi was my choice as well. Everything you said. Also, he's only 27 years old, so he's still got quite some time left in him. He's also proven to play against the Yankees when he was with Boston. So I think he'd be excellent. And I everything that Bad Dog said is exactly what I was wanting to say. Like doesn't he have a ring too? Or well, he was in the World Series. Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Everything he said, left in and back, like he would be great for the short porch.
Great minds think alike, Stacey. That's all you need.
That's it. Well, let me tell you something. Stacey finished very, very quick. Awesome job. But it's pretty simple, right? We're like, all right, there you go.
Yeah,
bingo.
Yeah. He said everything I wanted to say. I had it all in front of me too, and I was like,
I'm gonna have a little fun here, and I'm gonna go a different route. So here we go. Let's start the timer on this one. I'm going a different route because here's why. I'm a little concerned that everybody's gonna want Benintendi. If he's available, everybody's gonna be all over this guy saying, "Hey, look, he could turn us into a contender." Or if we feel we're a playoff caliber team, we think with a guy like Benintendi, we can win it all. I'm gonna throw two names out there, and I'm sorry, but some people may not think they're too sexy, but I'm going to go out there and say him anyway. One is a tough one. I don't think it's going to happen, but let me tell you why. I'm just going to say the name. Dalton Varsho of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 25 years old, left fielder. Listen to this. This is a weird one. Plays a good catcher, but he plays a really good center field. That's kind of a weird thing. You don't usually get both of those. But people are probably going to come out. Yeah, people are probably going to come out and go, "Oh, Pete, come on. He's 25. Why would Arizona get rid of him?" Well, why would the Pirates get rid of Brian Reynolds? It's the same damn thing, and everybody's out there going, "Oh, give me Reynolds, give me Reynolds." He's having a terrific year. Varsho's a very good ball player, but here's another one who is much more realistic, as the question asked. Albert Almora Jr., not a sexy name at all. Nowhere near a sexy name. He really isn't. But with the Cincinnati Reds, hitting over 300 since he's come back to the major leagues, doesn't strike out a lot, contact guy, decent speed, good center fielder, very good center fielder. That's the reason why I think he could potentially be one of those guys that the Yankees maybe get out of maybe losses of losing out on a Benintendi or somebody else. Yeah. That's a minute and a half right on time.
And they wouldn't have to give up much to get him.
Not at all.
I remember when Albert Almora came up with the Cubs, how big of a prospect he was.
He was. He never really panned out, and this year he's actually doing well. By the way, too, just speaking of former Yankees real quick, I tweeted this morning. Brandon Drury, remember that name? He's having a fantastic year for Cincinnati.
Really?
Yes. 11 homers. I think he's hitting 270-something, like almost an 800 OPS. Doing terrific.
Nice.
So, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, that is good. I did like him.
I liked him, too. When he came here, I remember saying, I was like, he's going to be a fan favorite because he's one of those guys that just – he's a gamer. He goes out there and plays very hard, but the injuries, the eyesight problems and all that really destroyed him. So, thankfully, he's getting it together now. But let's jump right into question numero dos. This is from @sports_talker1. This is going to be a good one. Should the Yankees continue to play Joey Gallo in right field? Should he continue to play right field? Of course, at Aaron Judge in center field. Bad Dog, go.
I mean, I don't want Joey Gallo playing anywhere. I want him playing on the bench. But I will say this about Gallo. I like Judge as a center fielder, to be honest. If you're not going to play Hicks in center field, Judge can go out and get it. One thing about Aaron Judge that's so underrated is his athleticism, his ability to field the ball. I mean, everybody just sees this big, strong guy that hits the ball over the moon, and he does that too. But he's got underrated speed. He's got a great arm, as we've seen a number of times. And yeah, he can go out and get it. So if Gallo is more productive as a right fielder, and it helps our defense out. I mean, I don't know all the analytics. I don't really follow analytical stuff. I'm an old school guy. I just pretty much look at the way the guys play. To me, I was always like, I know Stanton gets hurt, but I always liked Stanton in the outfield because I felt like when the guys were in the outfield every day, they're not always thinking about their batting, maybe, unless you were Paul O'Neill. He was always thinking about it, but O'Neill was still the man. O'Neill be out there practicing his swing. But sometimes guys that sit on the bench when you're in a slump, you sit there and you have to think about it for 3 innings before you come up again. It can get in your head. When you're out in the outfield, you kind of tend to forget about it. So if that helps Gallo in both aspects and helps the Yankees, I'd be fine with them playing right field until we go out and get Andrew Benintendi thing.
All right. Bad Dog is finishing his up. Got 13 seconds back to you on that one. All right, Stacey, right to you. And here we go. Joey Gallo, right field. What do you think?
Yeah. Why am I Bad Dog? I'm gonna start going first, I think, sometimes because Bad Dog always says exactly the same stuff that I want to say, and I'm just like, I'm really left no time other to go. Yeah, ditto. I mean, I completely agree about Judge and center. I think he's got great depth for center field, both in throwing and in going left to right and center. Like he covers so much area out there because he's so big. So I really love it when I see Stanton in right and Judge in center. Whoever you want to put in left, Hicks, Gallo, I don't really care right now. I don't care until we get somebody else to go out there that's actually going to, hit. That's fine. But I mean, I don't want to put him in right field. I actually really like Stanton in right. So.
All right. Well, like you said, Bad Dog got most of his answer for you there. So here's how I'm going to go with this. So let me start my time right now. Okay, Joey Gallo in right field. Let me tell you something about this. Why I like the idea of it. And Sports Talker really knows his stuff. We talk a lot. He knows what he's talking about. Here's the thing. Let me say this real quick. Right field Gallo, center field Judge, left field whoever right now, right? Here's my mind thought, my process of this. If you decide on going that route and you go, you know what, Gallo's going to stay there, whoever's in, Judge is in center field and left field, now you open up even left field to these ideas of trades that we've been talking about, because I agree with Bad Dog 100%. Aaron Judge could play center field. His athletic ability is very underrated. He has great routes to the baseball. You never see him confused really out there, ever. You've rarely ever seen him confused. You rarely ever see him take a bad route to a ball, but it opens up things like a guy that we just saw with the Cubs. Stacey, you saw him live. Ian Happ in left field. Very good left fielder. That's another name out there that could be very available that the Yankees could pencil in and left. And maybe they go, you know what? Maybe getting a guy that could play center field isn't as needed as we think because Judge can handle it. And if you could get an outfield of, let's say, Happ, Judge, Stanton, and look, Joey Gallo is going to be a free agent. So at the end of the day, I'd much rather keep Joey Gallo than Aaron Hicks. I prefer Joey Gallo over Aaron Hicks. At the end of the day, Gallo's going to pop you a homer every now and then. He could do a pinch hit late in the game, hit a home run, maybe a Ruben Sierra type of guy down the line for the Yankees. But I would be comfortable with Gallo on the bench role, maybe playing against righties more, sitting a little bit against lefties, late game pinch hitting. Hell, look, he's yours to the end of the year, so why the hell not? I went a little over my time, but I'm a big talker, so why not?
Bounce off of that too is I completely agree with you. I think we should use him kind of, like you said, pinch hitting or something towards the end of a game or something like that. But defensively, I think he's more reliable than Hicks right now. So, and offensively, if you want to be honest, but really anybody other than Hicks.
Well, I think the thing with him, I think the thing with him
anybody
too,
but Hicks.
Anybody but Hicks, but I think the thing with him too, and Bad, all of us here seen the dynasty team, but they've always had guys like that could come off the bench and hit a big 3-run home run. Look, the thing we know about Joey Gallo, I know people probably a lot of times they compare Gallo and Hicks because they're both struggling Yankees and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to say, well, one has a contract, one really doesn't. Why would you prefer this guy over this guy? At the end of the day, let's be honest here. Whatever Hicks does, Joey Gallo does better. It's just that it's really that simple. He's gonna hit you he's gonna hit power. So I wouldn't want Aaron Hicks coming off the bench looking for a home run. I mean, why? Why would you? You gotta be at your mind.
Aaron
Gallo's
Hicks
more productive.
Hicks doesn't.
Did you see last night when? Sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say the only thing Hicks does that Gallo doesn't is he's a switch hitter.
That's it.
But
That's
you don't want Hicks coming up on the right side of the plate anyway.
No.
In a home run situation.
No, not at all.
I mean, Mr. 30-30 Hicks ain't hitting many home runs for either side of the plate.
30-30 my ass. I'm going to say this again. I said this last night. CC Sabathia should have got him in a headlock the minute he said that. And said, all right, end the podcast. This is it. You're going to take those words back. Do not do that to yourself. Do not embarrass yourself like that. Get back on the damn field. How about you do that first? 30-30 my ass. I should make that shirt.
Yep.
I should wear that on June 24th. Hey, Hicks, here you go, 30-30 my ass. Unbelievable. But here we go. Let's see. Question number 3 of the episode. This one is from John from the Ave. We don't know what Ave John is from, but he emailed me. Which team in the AL East is the biggest threat to the New York Yankees? I like this question. All right, Bad Dog. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
You skipped one.
Did I skip a question?
Yes.
Hold on. Oh, I did. I did. My bad. I went down a little bit. Mark Ferrero, my friend. Sorry about that.
That's right.
We're going to get to the other. With John from the Ave, don't worry. We're coming to you. Who would be your number one trade target for the bullpen? Bad Dog, here we go.
So there's a couple names out there. And it depends. Our bullpen's pretty solid. I know we lost Chapman. I know we lost Green. Clay Holmes. I could not have been more off about Clay Holmes. May I just say, Clay Holmes, I know you're watching. I apologize. You are the man. I don't know what else to say about Clay Holmes and Clay Holmes and Clay Holmes. But there's a couple names out there. So David Bednar is one. Definitely would be an absolute stud for our bullpen. But
another Pittsburgh guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to give up a lot to get Bednar. There's two names out there that I like that are former Yankees that you wouldn't have to give up anything. David Robertson, you could come home.
I'm good with that.
David Robertson, I'd be fine with that. Mark Melanson is another one. He used to pitch here. He was really nothing in the bullpen. Then he became a really solid closer for a long time. But for me, I think David Robertson makes the most sense. He's pitched here. He's a leader. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes to pitch in New York. And I feel like I could trust him. He's a gamer. I like Robertson a lot. I don't think it would take much to get him, and I think it would be a good addition to the bullpen. So there's a few things.
Perfect. All right, here we go, Stacy. Let's see if Bad Dog got you again. Here you go. Go ahead.
Okay, he didn't actually, and I don't know how I didn't think of D-Rob because I saw him pitch last night, and I was like, I love D-Rob, love, always have, always will. And when he got injured, I was legit almost near tears, like because he loves the game, he loves playing, he has so much energy to him. Like I remember when he ran out during the there was a brawl one time, and he ran out. That was just like epic, man. Love D-Rob. Didn't pick D-Rob, but I did actually pick a former Yankee.
Okay.
Giovanni Gallegos.
Oh,
so
okay.
He is consistently doing pretty damn good. So right now he's at a 318 on the season, and he's been consistent with the way that he's been pitching. So when was the last time we had him?
He got traded in the Voit deal.
Okay, so like 2018.
Yeah.
And I would really love to see how he does with Matt Blake. The two of them and his consistency at this point, like bring him back. Let's see how he does. I like him. So and I think he's lefty. Is he lefty? No, he pitches right. No,
right-hander. Hard thrower, big break and
I like
stuff.
him. Yeah.
No doubt about it. No, that's actually a very good pick. He was a name I actually wasn't even thinking about, but now I'm thinking about him. That's a very smart one. Mine is really simple, to be honest. I'm not going to go long on this one. It's David Robertson. It's David Robertson. Look, at the end of the day, we know how relievers could be. You know, again, if maybe Brian Cashman goes out there and he finds somebody, again, that's like a Clay Holmes, and these analytic numbers show you that this guy's a lot better than what we think. Matt Blake maybe looks at video and goes, I think we can maybe work around pitch sequences with him or figure out a little something. But the New York Yankees are on a path, no doubt about it, to be a dominating force in the American League. And most people right now, if you had to make a bet, will probably say it's the Yankees or the Astros going to the World Series for the American League. With that mindset, get the guy who you know won. The biggest question of all for the Yankees is he'll handle New York. That is not a problem. You could put him in at any time. Immediately upon arriving and getting him, Aaron Boone can say, hey, you know what? We need somebody behind Clay Holmes. I know he could do it. I'm not even concerned about even worrying about that. And yesterday,
but he might need a day off too.
Exactly. And Bad Dog and Stacy, you were there. My man was throwing 95-mile-an-hour cutters yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, I think the radar gun might have been broken a little bit because they had somebody throwing, I forgot who it was, to a 100-mile-an-hour changeup. And I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that too. I go,
I was like,
come on.
Impossible. But everybody was throwing like 103 yesterday. I was like, well, what the hell's going on here? There was like 4 103s, 2 101s. I'm like, all right, something's going on here. But Clay Holmes was throwing 103-mile-an-hour bowling balls. So I am all for, no question about it, I am 100% for David Robertson coming back. And as Bad Dog said, he's not going to cost a lot. But you know him.
No.
And to me, that is overly valuable. That is overly valuable. It's a safe bet. It's the one you go for. Because, look, and my time's over, but we'll just keep going a little here.
It's your show, buddy.
do whatever you want, right? The hell with it. Even if Brian Cashman went out there and get David Robertson, let's say, God forbid, he bombs. Is anybody going to be mad at Cashman for making that move? No, it's a safe bet. Why would you? Yeah. That's the safe bet to make, but I'm all for David Robertson. All for it.
I just have a great idea for a video I got to do probably tomorrow. I have to do a video on, like, my worst takes ever. And I have lots of bad ones. That Clay Holmes one is sticking in my head. Hey. I got to do that. I got some good ones that I got to do because I've had some really bad takes. That one's right at the top.
I've had a couple this offseason, man. I said Luis Heel should start over Nestor Cortez. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, look, I no, but here's what I said. I said I like Nestor Cortez, I do, but I like him more in the spot start role. And Nestor's like, all right, buddy, hold tight because you're about to see the best pitcher in the league right now, up until this point. So good for Nestor. Good for Nestor.
Estash Cortez is the man.
That's it.
He gave up a couple runs the other night. So what the hell's wrong with him?
Yeah, a couple of bombs too.
Is he broken? Who broke him?
Yeah, a couple of bombs. I'm like, all right, nobody's usually hitting that cutter. What happened? All of a sudden, bombs.
Gerrit Cole bombed the other night.
Oh God, please! He is so lucky he got saved. He is so lucky he got saved. Yeah. All right, next question is again from John from the Ave. Which team in the AL East is the biggest threat to the New York Yankees? All right, Bad Dog, and your time begins right about now.
The AL East is a damn good division. That we knew it would be. Even Baltimore, I mean, they're not good, but they're not horrible. There's many teams in Major League Baseball that are worse than the Orioles. Boston's getting red hot. They've been playing extremely well. Toronto has been playing extremely well. I mean, this is a really, really good division, which at the beginning of the year is why I think Pete and I don't know how Stacy felt about this stuff, but we felt like we didn't do enough to win this division because the other teams felt like they got better. This is such a great division. It's Tampa for me. It'll be Tampa for me until they prove that they can't do it anymore. They give us problems all the time. They always seem to beat us. They find ways to win games. This is kind of what the Yankees have done this year. We have found ways to win games, which is why I love the way this team is constructed right now. The way we're playing, we win games 10-7. We win games 1-0. We win games 5-4. We find ways to come back and win. We have the bullpen pitch 7 innings, a shutout ball. They're finding ways to win. Tampa Bay is always like that to me. They're always a big threat. So until Tampa Bay is beaten and we beat them for the division or somebody else beats them for the division, I got to think that they're the biggest threat just, on merit alone. So I would think Tampa, but do not count on Toronto. I love Toronto. Good young team, pretty good pitching staff. They can hit with anybody. I love Vlad Guerrero Jr. How do you not? Vlad Guerrero Sr. is one of my all-time favorite players. They're just really good. Although Bichette really ticks me off as a Yankee fan. Guy kills us. But yeah, I would say Tampa Bay.
Perfect. Right on the minute 30. So Stacy, do you have Tampa Bay?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
It's always Tampa. It's always Tampa. Yes. Tampa always likes to give us a little bit of a hard time. Although I will say Baltimore is known to give us a difficult time too. I think they just really just like to beat us, not particularly that they know they're going to win anything in the division. They just put like all the stops out when the Yankees come to play. And
they like that.
But yeah, no, it's always Tampa. Yes.
Yeah, they like to play
let's do everything we can to beat the Yankees. So that's all we want to do. Yeah.
That's all they do. So that's another quick one right there for Stacy. And, of course, it seems like the easy answer. I'm going to be a little different on this one. I am going with the Toronto Blue Jays. The main reason I'm going with the Blue Jays is because Alek Manoah is having a Cy Young season. Also, Gossman, they got that 1-2 punch. They have it. But they have a lot of young guys still coming up who I think can make an effect in the second half. But the thing about the Blue Jays that I think you do have to worry about is this is a team who has not been hesitant at all at a deadline to add whoever the hell they need to add to get better. And the team right now is showing that they might have gotten off to a rocky start, but they're firing it up right now. And look, I know Yankee fans were laughing at the Red Sox for a while, but the Red Sox are playing baseball again. I think they got the best record in baseball since whatever the hell their streak started, and they're back over 500 now, I believe. Yep. They're playing really good baseball too. And the one question that we always say is, don't count your chickens before they hatch, because at the end of the day, you can start jumping up and down about, hey, we got a lead in the beginning of June, and one bad week changes everything in baseball. Baseball's the only sport in reality where you can have a couple of bad days and never recover. Now, we have the most games as a sport that you could make things up, and that's the interesting about baseball is you could get off to a terrible start and make it up. Other sports, you can't necessarily do that. But in baseball, you can. But I just think the Blue Jays offense, and again, their willingness to go out there and say, we want to take it over. We think we can win. We already got a great 1-2 punch. We can go out there and maybe get a Benintendi, maybe get some of these guys, maybe a major deal, maybe a Luis Castillo, maybe some other bigger names out there that we're not thinking of that they can add, because they've shown the willingness to do stuff like that and add to this club. And they certainly got the prospects to do it. So that's the team where I would say it was my concern a little bit, is the Blue Jays.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the season's never over. And just look at the 78 Yankees. They were 14.5 out in July. They came back to win the division. Yeah. I remember 87. Sure did. Yankees were one of the best teams in baseball going into August of 87, and they completely collapsed. I think they lost 22 or 30 games or something. They completely quit on Lou Piniella. And I thought 87 was the year that I was actually going to see the Yankees in the playoffs, and it took till 95 for me and pretty much everybody else my age. But
right.
The season's not over. And I mentioned that last show it's a marathon, and you can get off to a great start the first half of that marathon, but you got another half to run. So it's not about how you start. I mean, starting definitely helps because you don't have to sprint at the end to catch back up.
Yeah.
But like Pete said, if you stumble at all, you fall off for a mile or two, there's a runner behind you that all of a sudden found his best stride and he's going to go by you. So that's what makes baseball so unique. That's when people talk about, the season's too long. And no, it's not. The season's perfect at 160.
Perfect.
It's a family, man. I know when we start in April, I have the Yankees almost every night all the way into the middle of October.
Yep.
They're a family. I have them for 6 months out of the year.
I love it.
In my house. So that's why I love baseball. So
and that's why it's the best. It really is. I was just going to say that. That's why it's really the best sport to call, to be a part of. Because, and again, and this is something that Bad Dog said. Bad, I always actually quote you on this. I don't get your words, I think, directly correct. But I know one time you told me, you said, people who criticize a take that you had 3 or 4 months ago, you can't really do it because baseball's always changing and things could just change like that in baseball.
Completely fluid.
So to sit there and just be like, oh, well, hey, remember that you said you don't think Nestor Cortez? Yeah, I didn't think he would be the best pitcher in the world. Who thought that? Who thought that really? Like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really liked him last year.
Right, but if you
if
you quoted every Yankee fan, you're like, who's going to be better this year? Nestor Cortez or Gerrit Cole? Everybody's like, well, I mean, Cole, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, whoever thought that Nestor Cortez would be this damn good? But I'm happy that Bad Dog said that because it does put into perspective. Baseball's a very long sport, and it's so unpredictable. So unpredictable.
And it's like that in the middle of the game, too. Like, baseball is the only sport where it's not over till that last out.
That's right.
That's right. There's no clock.
Love it.
You can't run out the clock.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a guy the other day. I had a video at the beginning of the year when I said the Yankees didn't do enough. I was pissed off at Cashman, and some guy comments on there yesterday or the day before, and he's like, "Oh, I knew this as soon as you made it. It was a terrible take." I'm like, "Oh yeah, then why did you wait 3 months to leave the comment, you clown?" That's my favorite. Oh, I knew.
Hindsight, come on, right?
When you did it, but I waited until they were 42-16 to comment.
Here's the thing. Put him in the bathroom. Here's the thing that I always say, though, and I always bring this up. I always say it takes a rare person to do what all of us are doing right now because our takes are here. They're not going away. Yeah. I'm not going to go back there and go, oh, my God, when did I say this? Delete video.
Yeah,
no, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah. I don't give a shit about that. I'm going to tell you what I think in the moment. And guess what? I'm not going to hide behind a fake profile and do it. I'm putting my face to my name, and I'm coming out here and saying it because that's what I believe.
How many bad takes do they have?
100% correct.
We're human.
We all miss. That's true.
100% correct. We all miss. None of us are perfect. And look at Stacey here. Stacey's doing it. Stacey's going to the stadium today. Somebody might go to Stacey and go, hey, you had a bad take years ago. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Oh, you could probably pull up a handful of mine. Yeah, that's for sure.
We all can.
Like within the game, one game, like I'm like one batter to the next, I'm calling it all wrong.
Oh, we're right
Whatever.
there. Look, how many times
we suck so bad.
I think I had an at bat this year when I think Aaron Hicks was up, and I'm like, all right, don't worry. I was on live. I'm like, yeah, cut the game. It's over. Forget it. Don't even worry about it. He's not doing nothing. And then he gets a base hit to give the lead. I'm like, holy shit. Look at this.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. All right, we are up to question number 5, and here it is from our good friend Brad Jewis. Brad says, besides Judge, who is going to have the biggest impact on the team moving forward for the rest of the year? I like this question a lot. Bad. Let's hear it.
Okay. So I go back to the dynasty years, the Yankees, and the most important person on that team, Mariano Rivera. So for me, it's Clay Holmes.
I like it.
We have seen this in the postseason with Aroldis Chapman, and he would come in there and he'd give us a heart attack. He gave up walk-off home runs, Altuve, buzzer or no buzzer, whatever it is. We've seen Chapman give it up in the postseason. Mariano Rivera rarely ever did that. I know in 2004, he blew 2 games. He didn't blow game 4 or game 5. I don't care what anybody says. Tom Gordon blew that game. So he's human. He gave up. He lost 1 game in his entire postseason career. That was against the Diamondbacks in Game 7, and you just what happened?
Yep.
The closer, especially in the postseason, cannot be understated how important they are. When Mariano came in, you knew this game is over. You didn't have to worry about it. You had a 2-run lead in the 9th. You're like, we got this. So to me, I'm not saying Clay Holmes is Mariano Rivera, so don't get it twisted. Nobody's Mariano Rivera. The guy's the GOAT. But it's nice to have a closer that you feel you can rely on. And when he comes in there, if he makes a mistake, you're like, wow, did that actually just happen? As opposed to Chapman.
Right.
Every pitch. It's like, oh my God. When Clay Holmes comes in there, relax, like, we got this. And if he does give it up, it's like, wow, he actually gave it up.
Yep.
To me, Clay Holmes is definitely the most important guy besides Judge going forward, because closing these games out, as we see with the Yankees, they win a lot of close games. They're winning a lot of 1-run games, which is something they didn't do last year and years previous with Aaron Boone, which is why we're all over Aaron Boone.
That's right.
When you win these close games, you're going to play games like that in the postseason. You need that guy that you can rely on to shut the door and win these games in the postseason. For me, it's Clay Holmes.
I like the take. I really do. I like the take a lot.
I do too, man. That's
2 months, someone will come back and go, that was a terrible take.
Right. Yo, they'll wait to the offseason. Remember that take? Yeah. They'll wait to the offseason when everything's done and over with. Stacey, who is your Yankee besides Judge? Who is going to have the biggest
Cortez.
Nestor. Okay. Let's hear it.
I am very biased to pitchers for sure. But man, I can't argue what he just said about the closer. It's so true. It's like such a vital role in maintaining a lead in a game. Like it's a make or break the game. So I can't, that's a really good choice, but I do love Nestor, and I feel like he's made an amazing impact already up all the way up until now. Hopefully he continues that, and in big spots when we need him in the playoffs, we'll continue to do that. So I'm going with Cortez.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we had to pick a number 1 starter to start a series, it's going to be Cortez over Cole.
Yeah.
If you're just going on performance.
Numbers, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here's my thing. Here's my question to you guys real quick on Nestor. Are you going with, as Jim Cott said, Nestor the molester or nasty Nestor?
I'm going with Nestash.
Nestash.
Cortez.
I could have.
There you go.
That Jim Cott thing had me laughing. So I'm so happy that Nestor came out. I was like, look, man, it's not a big deal. Like, because that could have been made into a big deal. They would have went after poor Jim Cott. Jim Cott was Nestor the molester. Man, is he fun to watch?
God.
I was like, what the?
That's terrible.
I was like, oh, come on, Jim Cott. What are you doing, my man?
Yeah.
But he's
got in the Hall of Fame too. What was that? That was a bad take, Mr. Cott.
Here's the guy. I'm gonna go with the multi-bazillion-dollar man himself, Gerrit Cole. I'm sorry. I know we didn't really want to talk about him and beat this guy up, but look, beating up Gerrit Cole is what I've been doing recently, and I'm sorry. But I need my $36 million a year pitch, and I want to hear the bullshit from Yankee fans. It's 1 game, Pete. My fucking ass. Excuse my language. It's not 1 game. I'm sorry. It's not 1 game. When has this guy been the ace the Yankees needed him to be? In big games. He hasn't. One thing about New York that I think a lot of the young fans forget is regular season doesn't mean nothing when it comes to the New York Yankees, because you got to win it in the World Series. You got to win it in the postseason. That's when we look at you. That is when we look at you. Funny thing, I remember when Esteban Loaiza was a Yankee, okay? only thing I remember about Esteban Loaiza is he had one performance in the postseason for the Yankees, and he was terrific. Only thing I remember about him. I don't think he was good, but that's the only thing I remember about him. Gerrit Cole needs to beat the Blue Jays. He needs to beat the Red Sox. He needs to beat Tampa. He needs to beat the Houston Astros. He needs to prove that, guess what? On a game 1, a game 5, a game 7, Gerrit Cole could be relied upon because, look, I think if you ask every Yankee fan, they tell you the truth. Game 7, it's on the line. Gerrit Cole's on the mound. How confident are you? I don't think everybody's saying I'm a 10 out of 10.
No.
I don't believe so. And that's a shame to say that about such a great pitcher that Gerrit Cole is, because he is a great pitcher. He really is. He's phenomenal. But Gerrit Cole will never be the guy that the New York Yankees signed him to be if he cannot win the big games. And it's that, to me, it's that simple. And guess what? He has a test coming up his next couple of starts. I think they're all against, I think maybe the Jays, the Rays, the Astros. They're all coming up. If Gerrit Cole ends up after these couple of starts with over a 4 ERA, I'm sorry. I start to worry a little bit about this team. I do, because when the postseason gets here, the regular season goes away. It's those one starts now. Now you can't say, well, it's one game. You can't say it no more. Yeah. Because that one game changes everything. So that's my opinion of it. I think we all had 3 different people, so that's pretty
cool. Pitchers. All pitchers.
All pitchers. Show the importance.
I'm going to tell you a quick Esteban Loaiza story. When we got him.
Cocaine? Wasn't he a big cocaine deal, isn't it?
2004, me and my buddies go to we go to a game. It's September. We went down to Monument Park. And Loaiza, there's fans in the park. It's before the game. It's like batting practice. They're out there throwing the ball around. And my kid was probably 8, 9 years old, and he's like, Esteban Loaiza had a ball. He's like, hey, gonna get the ball. And Loaiza, throws up the ball. Then when my buddy Frank goes, that's the best pitch you threw all year, Esteban. Everybody broke out laughing.
Man. That's harsh, bro. That's harsh.
That is awesome. That is awesome. But I tell you what. That's why I love attending games, because you do hear stuff like that. And people always want to say, like, oh, my God, that's hilarious, man. I could see why some players might get frustrated about it, but think about it in reality, man. Like, these guys are the 1%ers. They're doing something that a lot of us dreamed of doing as kids, and they're doing it. So, I mean, to be able to joke about it, I see it as comedy. I really do. Now, yes, some people go over the top, but that right there, that's comic genius, in my opinion. That's hilarious.
That was a good one.
That's completely a good one. Well, we are through our 5 questions. We are through them. That is it. I mean, that is all the 5 questions we had. Thank you to everybody who threw that in there. I gotta get your guys' take on one thing, because I ended the last question there with Gerrit Cole, and I really do. I know we probably don't want to go into the bashing of Cole too much, because he is the ace of the Yankees. We did sign him to be this big pitcher, but I do want to ask you guys one thing. The next couple of starts are going to be big starts. I actually believe he is starting against the Astros on June 25th when we're at that game. So I just want to really run that one by you guys. Are you guys confident in Gerrit Cole and in his performances against these big clubs? And I'm not really putting anybody in the spot. I'm just saying, if it comes to those big games, how confident are you that he's going to get the job done?
I'm not. He's given us no reason to be confident. And that's the thing. You can't predict the future, but the only way that you can look at somebody is what they've done in the past.
Right.
Which is how you end up with bad takes, because you watch somebody that's been bad for years, all of a sudden they have a really good year, and you're like, oh, that was a bad take. But that's what you base somebody's future performance on, is how they've done in the past. He has not proven that he could step up and be the guy. He was terrible in Boston last year. He's been terrible in big spots for us against better teams like Minnesota, who's a good team, and he gave up 5 home runs. Like you said, Pete, he's got to beat the Astros. He's got to beat the Red Sox. He's got to beat the teams that are good. He's got to beat the teams that are contending for the AL East and for the title. I mean, you nailed it. You're judged on what you do here in the postseason. When you make all this money and you're a superstar and you're the man, we don't give a damn if you're 21-3 in the regular season with an ERA of sub-2 and you come out there and you bomb. Ask A-Rod. A-Rod was the best player in baseball in 2007.
That's right.
He had a bad season. Fans killed Alex Rodriguez every time he came up until 2009 when he's the reason that he and CeCe are the reason we won that World Series. A-Rod had big hit after big hit, home run in Game 2 against the Twins, a tie to the 9th, home run in Game 2 in the ALCS against the Angels, a tie in the bottom of the 10th or 11th, whatever it was. Big hit after big hit for A-Rod. That didn't, I wouldn't say that cemented his legacy with Yankee fans because we had Jeter, and that was always a weird thing. But A-Rod's always the guy that I look at who had great seasons, won 2 MVPs for us. The guy who's driving in 100 runs every year, and the fans killed him because he didn't produce. And that was even in 2012 after he'd done this. And then Ibanez came up and had all those home runs, pinch hitting for him. Fans were killing A-Rod then too. Like guys like that can't get a fair shake if you don't perform in the postseason. That's going to be Gerrit Cole's legacy. Oh, yeah, he was good in the regular season, but the dude sucked in the postseason, and that's what he'll be remembered for. Pete, you could not have nailed it more. It's Gerrit Cole has got to perform in big situations.
Stacey, what are your thoughts?
So, you know what they say, you could give somebody 10 compliments, but then you say one negative thing and they'll always remember that one negative thing. And this applies in baseball. You can have a consistent player all throughout the year, but when you come up and when you have big spots, clutch spots, spots where you need them to actually show up and they don't, fans will remember, they do not forget. They will bring it up every single time and be like, you know what, we needed you during this time and you gave up 4 runs, or like, I think it was 2 starts ago where Cole gave up like 5 runs and they're like, oh, he's got 11 Ks. And I tweeted, I don't care how many Ks this guy has when you give up 5 runs. We won that game despite him. Man, I got reamed for it. Like people were like, oh, well, we're winning. And I was like, we're not winning because of him though. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't because of him that we were winning. However, I will say this, with Nestor Cortez pretty much stepping up to the role as being our ace right now in this season, I think Cole's kind of feeling the heat of that. His ego is now kind of shot a little bit because the fans are loving Cortez and they're like, he's our ace, he's our guy, and it's all about Cortez, and Cole is kind of pushed off to the side. So I do feel like he's going to feel that. And I feel like he's got something a little bit to prove of this. I'm still the ace. I'm going to step up. So I feel good in a way, not 100% confident, but I feel good in a way that he's going to try to improve this for the rest of the season. I think he's going to try to step up and be that again because, the pressure's on now. You're that ace spot that you thought you had is starting to kind of come, out of your grasp. And I think, the fans are what determine everything, right? Like for these players, it's like, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. If the fans are not on your side, then you ain't it. So.
No doubt about it. And I think it's interesting that we all, are similar on the takes with that. But again, we're very realistic Yankee fans. We're not going to get obsessed by a guy's salary and his numbers and go, okay, great. Well, we like what he's done. The starts I remember for Gerrit Cole, I'm sorry. Somebody reminded me the other day. They go, Pete, you do remember when he shut out the Houston Astros? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember that game. That was one of his good ones. That was awesome. Good. That's what he needs to do. But I'm like, yeah, but I also remember the bad starts against Toronto, the wild card game, the other playoff start. I remember most of the bad games. Like Stacey just said, typically the negative sticks on your mind more than the positive does. And that's just, unfortunately or fortunately, that's just life. That's how stuff works. Yeah. That's how it is. So this has been another terrific episode.
Real quick.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
You know what it's like, Pete? I don't know if you guys play poker, but that's they stayed in rounders. A poker player rarely remembers the big potsy ones, but he always remembers the bad beats.
Yes, of course.
And that is the case with the Yankees and players. You rarely remember guys winning MVPs or Cy Youngs. You remember what they did in the postseason when it mattered most. They could have the best 162, like A-Rod had in 07, and then he went 4 for 15. Or 2005 even is a better example when he hit 48 homers and won an MVP, and he was 2 for 15 against the Angels.
Yeah.
And he got destroyed. So that's really what it is. We probably don't get to the playoffs without A-Rod, but he got in the playoffs and he was terrible and he hurt it. So that's kind of the way it is, especially with Yankee fans. I think more so than any other fan base because we expect so much from this team.
Yes. Easily. And that's why it's funny too, when the Yankee fans get this a lot. Oh, you guys are spoiled. Yes. Yes. I don't know why you think that's an insult. No, it's not. I didn't notice. Me and Bad were talking before we went live, but I didn't know that the Tampa Bay Lightning and the NHL are going to win. They could potentially win if they beat the Rangers. Hopefully they don't. But if they beat the Rangers and they go on and they win the Stanley Cup, they got 3 titles in a row. Yes. I mean, I didn't know that. That is something. So their fans, let's say they're younger now, they're going to expect that team wins
Yep.
It's the same thing with us as Yankee fans. A lot of us were spoiled to be born around the time of a dynasty, a little before it. But when we started watching baseball, we got right into the 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2, 3. People forget they went to the World Series in 03 also. They lost to the Marlins, unfortunately. But we are used to the Yankees winning. So at the end of the day, calling me a spoiled Yankee fan, oh, you shouldn't expect this. No, I'm going to respect it forever. I don't care if the Yankees lose 10 more years in a row. I'm always going to sit there and say, they should be winning. That's not the Yankee way. People are going to go, well, Pete, they haven't won since 09. I don't give a poot. I don't give a poot.
Hey,
they should be winning.
In 78, guys in 85, 86, 87 that had lived through the 70s dynasties like my dad.
Yeah.
We were like, when's this team going to win again?
Yeah, of course.
That's the difference. The young fans, I think we talked about this last time.
We did.
You have to be probably 21 years old to really – you to be 8 years old in 2009 if you were 21 now to see the last championship. And they hadn't won a championship in 9 years at that point. They've won one championship since 2000. So this younger – fan base doesn't understand what it means. They haven't lived through this. The Yankees have had dynasties throughout the history of baseball, in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, 61, 62, and then they kind of fell off. Then they 76 in the World Series, 77, 78 won it, back in the World Series in 81, and then they had that break, and then they won a bunch at the end of the 90s. So they haven't had that yet. But if the Yankees have a place here, let's hope what happens in the next couple, 3-4 years. We win 2 championships or 3 championships in 5 years. Then the fan base that's in their 20s or their teens are going to say, I expect this team to win every year. Once you get a feeling of winning like that on a consistent basis, you are going to expect it. So I think the younger fan base hasn't had the privilege of feeling what that's like to have your Yankees win a title. And as soon as you feel it, fans, you will expect it. Trust me. That's right. It's an amazing feeling.
Yep, it is. And can I finish? I want to finish up with one thing since we didn't get a chance to touch on this on the subject, but I have to bring this up. I got to go around the horn real quick with you guys and just say this. Give me your opinion on Clint Frazier. I got to talk about this whole Clint Frazier situation really quickly.
Oh, my gosh.
I put one tweet out. I said, I don't know what gave this guy in his right mind to think he's Michael Jordan, that somebody owes him something. To act like I'm this great ball player. But the funniest thing about the whole thing is he comes out, the New York Post comes out with this article that he trashes the Yankees again, and some people didn't see it as trashing. It was trashing. It's a guy who's butt hurt, that's all. And at the end of the day, guess what? The Cubs go, hey, adios, pal. See you later, too. He's over there saying, I love this Cubs clubhouse. We're the best. They're like, we don't like you that much. We'll see you later.
Gosh.
But Bad Dog, please, let me hear a little something about Clint Frazier.
Clint, that was a bad take.
There it is.
That was good.
That was a bad take.
That's it. It was a bad take, Clint. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down to AAA. Down to wherever the hell you're going. Hey, I say it all the time. He could pump gas in Jersey with Andrew Heaney. I got nothing to say about Clint Frazier. I think the Yankees didn't give him an opportunity. I will agree with that. I thought Frazier deserved more of an opportunity here, but at the end of the day, there's a reason the Yankees didn't give him that opportunity. They're the guys that deal with the analytics. They're in the clubhouse. They see these guys on a day-to-day basis. They see what they do on the field, off the field. They have a better judgment of the players than we do. Although I think we have a better judgment of Aaron Hicks than they do, but whatever. But yeah, guys need to shut their mouth. Like you said, Pete, it's just it's salty. And he's going to come out and rip the Yankees. And you know what? Take it as a compliment, man. We always talk about it. Yeah, the people ain't going to hate on you if you're not successful. If you're a failure, nobody hates on you. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about Clint Frazier. Reggie Jackson said it best. They don't boo nobody.
That's right.
So
that's right.
It's Clint, and bad take, buddy. Bad take.
I like it. Stacey, what are your thoughts on Mr. Frazier himself, MJ, Michael Jordan Frazier?
Well, Lee, I did meet the guy at spring training, and I actually liked him. And I thought he's a good guy, honestly. Like, I felt like I think his head was a little bit bigger for what he actually ended up doing. Yeah. But why couldn't they DFA him after the series? Come on. Like, I was like, it would have been nice, all that trash talk for the Yankees to just shut him down, while he was here. That would have been
Maybe
great.
The Cubs didn't like that.
Yeah. They were like, you know what? We're going to shut him up for you.
Yeah. They were like, don't give this team any added incentive.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel for the guy in a way, but I don't know. Maybe somebody will pick him up and I don't know.
Maybe.
I have no opinion of him.
Yeah, well, the thing is to me, like I've always said this about probably just about almost every player out there. I don't think there's ever a player that I'm really like, I just hate this guy as like a person type thing. Like as a player, whatever, you suck. Obviously the guy's worked his butt off to some point to be a major league ball player. So I wish him luck. I do. I wish him luck. I wish him to catch on somewhere else and maybe he gets it going. I just think his biggest problem is his mouth, unfortunately. I mean, look, you might be salty about a couple of things. You might be upset about a couple of things. But obviously, right, there's a time where you just say, shh, let me not. You know what I mean? Let me just go and play baseball and see what happens. But that's what
he was a big mouth on Twitter too, like
very much so, man. Very much.
With the fans, it would interact. And the fans, and it wasn't really in a positive light either.
Twitter is just a cesspool, man. I mean, so many people get themselves in trouble on Twitter. It's just an absolute cesspool sometimes. But, especially for things like business and things like that and creating a persona, stuff like that, it's where it's at, unfortunately, fortunately, again, or unfortunately, however you see it. But Frazier's gone. The Yankees are the best team in baseball, and we're just living life. I mean, you know what I mean? We're having a good time here watching Yankee games. Again, I'll just finish off my thoughts on this. One of the things that I do recognize, and I think we all probably agree on this, is a lot of these games that the Yankees have won recently, they don't win last year. And as Bad Dog said early on, Bad Dog said it. He said flat out, he goes, they're finding ways to win games. Last year, it's like they just couldn't do it. And the dugout was always dead. There is something new on this team. And again, I always pinpoint it and I say, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing here, and I'm going to give credit to the leadership of the team. I'm going to give credit to Aaron Boone. I'm going to give credit to the new coaching staff because I'm sorry. I know people want to say, they like Bad Dog said, they want to go ahead and get you, bad take. You said Aaron Boone should be fired, blah, blah. Yeah, me and 90% of the Yankee fan base thought he should have been fired. But anyway, we'll move on and I'll give him credit on this. He's different this season. There's no denying it. How many times did the Yankees hit and run last year? Never. Rarely ever did you see the Yankees do a hit and run. They're doing it all the time. You're almost seeing it every other game that they're saying, you know what, nothing's happening, hit and run, try it. See what they're stealing bases. They're doing the little things. And again, look, Willie Randolph said it. A good friend of mine was talking to him. He's a Legends member. He had season tickets. He actually said it on Twitter too, by the way. And Willie Randolph said flat out. You know who I'm talking about. Willie Randolph said flat out. He told him directly. And it's what I said all off season. I said it all. I said Aaron Boone needs to get his name back and his pride and go, you know what? Either I manage this team fully or I go. That's simple. Because I'm not going to deal with this. And I believe that is truly the difference, that this man finally has a voice. I believe it. Yeah. And I'm the biggest critic of Aaron Boone. Everybody knows it. All you got to do is look at my videos.
Me too.
I'm the biggest critic of him. But I give him all the credit in the world. I say it. Last year, he was at the Italian-American Baseball Foundation dinner. And I hope this year he's there again because I want to go up to him and I want to tell him flat out. I just want to look at him and say, Aaron, look, I was your biggest critic last year. You don't got to tell me anything changed, but I know it changed. And good job.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can say you don't know what I'm talking to. You can say whatever you want. I'm going to tell you that it's obvious. I see it. I know it. You don't got to tell me nothing. Good job. Good on you. Good on you for talking up.
Yeah, listen, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what they did last year. They never stole bases. They never bunted. They never did the little things.
Yes.
This year, when they're having a hard time scoring runs, let's put some runners in motion. Let's try to open up some holes in the infield. Let's try to get the batter to concentrate a little bit more because when a runner's going, you're going to concentrate more to make contact with the baseball. Let's bunt against this shift. Let's do these little things to win games. And that's why they're 42-16. It really is just, like I said, the take that Michael Kay stole from me at the beginning of the year when I compared this team to the 98 Yankees and how they were so different at the beginning of the year. All of a sudden after that, they started doing the fundamental things to win the one-run games instead of doing the mistakes like making outs on the base paths, although they still do that a little bit too frequently for me. Their defense is better. They're better in sacrifice flies. They're one of the best teams in the league in hitting sac flies, which is something we didn't do last year. It's those little minuscule things that are the difference between winning 98 games in the regular season and losing in the first round of the playoffs and winning 98 games in the regular season and winning a World Series. This is the difference.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I love the brand of ball they're playing right now. They're exciting. They win 1-0. They win 98. It's fun. It's fun right now to be a Yankee.
Well, Stacey, close us out. Close us out with your thoughts on that one.
So I'm a big fan of the small ball, and I feel like in previous years we were just kind of shooting for the stars, and it felt like every other time they went up, it was either home run or bust, and I think they figured out that we can't go that route. It's best to actually play some real ball, like the Blue Jays have been playing all around ball. The Rays, like last season was absolutely phenomenal with how they just played all around great baseball. And I feel like the Yankees were like, we got to be doing this too. This is what we need to do, because we're not going to beat the Rays if we don't play like this. We're not going to beat the Blue Jays if we don't play like this. We're not going to beat the Red Sox, Astros, if we don't play like this. So right from the beginning, they just came out just hitting it just like that. And I'm here for it. I love it. I loved how we were just like, we're hustling. I'm seeing these guys clearly gonna have a pop out, and they are hustling to first base. Yep. They are just doing stuff that they just were not doing in previous seasons. So
you
I'm loving it.
You don't see a lot of those Gary Sanchez plays anymore, do you? I'll even shout out Gleyber Torres too, who's playing much different baseball this year.
Yes, absolutely. He was almost the guy that I picked before I chose Cortez to make a difference. I feel like
I was going to say him too, by the way. He was the second guy in my thought process of Gleyber Torres.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
He's kind of right now, if you think about it, like we talk about DJ LeMahieu a lot. DJ LeMahieu's kind of he's getting it going. I got a couple of multi-hit games in a row, and we need him to be above 285 on the average side. But if you look at something last year, right, and the years before, what were we all saying? We really need Gleyber Torres to be Gleyber Torres again. Now, he doesn't have to be the 38 home run guy, but he's on pace for 20-plus. He's on pace for 20-plus
What's
homers.
He, 25? He's 25, right?
He's a young man still. So
if we're going to have this guy for a while, if we're going to keep him around, this is the guy we really need to be, focusing on. And, you were talking about DJ's average. I think he's under 800 for an OPS. And I'm like, we got to bring this up. We got to do something about that. But Gleyber, man. Like I feel really good about this season for him. I do.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'll tell you another guy, and you mentioned the leadership and the coaching. I'll tell you a guy that people don't think about. He hasn't had a great offensive year for us. Josh Donaldson's making a difference in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Donaldson's gritty,
I like him.
grimy, hard-nosed attitude is rubbing off. And it's good. You need those type of guys. For me, that was always Brett Gardner. Gardner wasn't a great player at the end of his career, but I always loved
the
his
toughness.
And I think Donaldson brings some of that to the Yankees.
Well, that's why I had a take that I got killed on Twitter about. They killed me. They went at me so hard. They couldn't believe I was ever daring to challenge Aaron Judge. But that's why I got so mad when Judge didn't defend him the way I thought he should have. I'm sitting there saying, come on now. Like, however you thought about it, please stick up for your guy. Like, don't go out there and throw Donaldson under the bus. Like, this guy was just getting hot. He's playing good baseball. Look, if you thought that it was uncalled, it was just stupid, just come out and say, look, that's something we're handling private, but I'm going to defend my guy. We're out there to win ball games. That's simple. That was my only thing. And look, man, it's not knocking at all. I love Aaron Judge. All I say is, look, don't let that clubhouse get affected. Yep. Let that clubhouse, because that's where you'll start having issues. Josh Donaldson, look, is he having a fabulous year? No, but he's starting to hit for power, hitting a lot of doubles, getting the home run ball going. I think as we start getting these hotter days coming, I think you're going to start seeing that ball fly out a little bit for him too. But bad, I agree with you 100%. That goes a part of the clubhouse culture changing that you could just tell is a night and day difference. Another guy on that too, and I'll give Cashman credit. He got these guys. Anthony Rizzo, man. I mean, Anthony Rizzo is all about clubhouse leadership. You could see it. I mean, the camaraderie in the dugout all the time. The Yes Network shows the dugout. Who do you see there around guys? You see Anthony Rizzo smiling, laughing, asking about something, they're talking. So it's just a different ball club, man. And I'm just happy to be a Yankee fan this year because last year was miserable to call. Last year was miserable to talk about. We were always angry. Yep. And this year, honestly, now we're kind of talking about like, how do they get slightly better to be the best team for the playoffs? Yes. Not because we're already looking at it. We're saying to ourselves, the Yankees got to be the Titanic if they're not going to make the playoffs. Right. They're getting there. So how do we just get better? Okay, our only problems are Aaron Hicks? Then get rid of the damn guy. Who gives a shit? If that's our only major issues and a little bit of the bullpen, guess what, guys? We're in terrific shape.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I'll end the show with that one. It's been another great episode. Hopefully you guys in the chat have liked it, have enjoyed it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and you guys know in the description below, do me the big favor. Go ahead and subscribe to Bad Dog's channel if you have not. Also subscribe to Stacy's channel if you have not. Bad, are we closing in on 100K? You almost there?
We're like 98.9, so we're
man.
You are
close,
right there.
But it's still a long ways away. It's kind of like the Yankees. They're close, but it's still so far away. We're getting there. So
we have hit yesterday on yesterday's game season live. We hit 8,600, so we're getting closer to 9K. Closing in on 10K. Nice. When 10K gets here, I already made the announcement. We're gonna have memberships. I'm actually getting our little badges created as we speak. I'm working on that with a few people to get different badges, different levels created, and there'll be member-only things weekly. It's going to be very, very fun, very interactive too, by the way, and giveaways and all that fun stuff for members. But Stacy, I know your numbers are starting to pick up.
I'm at like 9,600 or something.
Okay,
9,600.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
10,000 closing for both of us.
10,000. Yeah.
10,000.
Hopefully maybe before the end of the summer. How about that?
Yeah, that's right. Great. Yeah, that's right. Because you just hit 95 on Twitter, and now you're almost at 96, right? You're closing on 96.
Yeah.
Terrific numbers. Stacy's gonna have 10K, man. That is insane. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome, guys. You guys know the deal. In the description below, all the YouTube channels are there. Go subscribe, and right there, scrolling on the screen, is all of our @ our handles on Twitter. So make sure you follow us on Twitter also. With that being said, lady, great day today. Enjoy the ball game.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the ball game. Bring us luck today. Go Yankees. Yes.
Let's go.
Bad, my friend. It's been another pleasure of working with you.
Absolutely. I love this show, man. This is a great idea.
Yeah, me too.
This is awesome. Yeah. And I love working with you guys. When I watch the show back, I'm like, that was so much fun. I'm looking forward to doing this. And hopefully every show we're talking about better and better things. And
absolutely.
We'll do this show in October, hopefully.
That's it. That's it.
Let's hope we're still smiling like with the way we are. We're all very smiling.
Right, please. Yeah. Nobody. It's funny. And I know we could probably just keep talking all day, but one of the things that people bring up to me all the time, they go, and Bad, I'm sure you probably get this. I love the rant videos. I love them. I don't like them.
Yes.
I hate them. I don't like doing it. I don't like letting my screaming and getting upset. But we are such fans that's our reaction. That is authentic. It's not something like somebody says, Pete, do a rant video. I don't feel like I don't feel it to do one. When I do a rant video, it is real. Like, it's me taking time in my day to say, you know what? I need to talk about this because this got me pissed. I need to let it out right now. I don't enjoy doing. Guess who hasn't done a rant video this year? I haven't. And I love it. Keep it that way,
The Giants
please.
are coming up, though. I'll have people we're going to get a rant. I said the Giants.
Thankfully for me, I just got baseball season to rant about. I don't care about nothing else. Yeah, I just got baseball season.
Pete, the reason people love those is, like you said, they're authentic. They're genuine.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a lot of fans that share that frustration that we share. So when we voice it, they're like, yes, I know what you're feeling, Bad Dog. I know what you're feeling, Pete. I get it. I understand it. And then, of course, you got the other guys like, you're so negative. Oh, I know. It's called being realistic, but sure.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I was always, I know. I love the everything's negative type. I love those guys. They're the best. They're the same ones that come back 6 months later with, was a bad take. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. You guys know I always tell you the viewership is great. You guys are amazing. Much love to all of you. And Stacy, Bad Dog, appreciate it. Until next time,
absolutely.
We will be back with Lady in the Dogpound. Have a great day, everybody.